Hello everybody, welcome to this wonderful reading. I'm Zoyas, welcome. So basically in this tarot card reading that I'm going to say is May 20th to May 31st of 2025. This is going to be a tarot card reading for Sagittarius, and this is going to be the way how it goes. So if you are Sagittarius as a woman or a guy, you pay attention to this as a wonderful reading. Because there is lots of ways to consider. And above all, about that consideration, you have to understand that the way how this is, the way how you can be accepting, the way how you are, the way how you can be diligent on how it is. Right? So you have to, be, confidential about what's going on through your own situations, and whether it seems to be very interesting about knowing what to do, and that's how it kind of goes, right? So you have to believe it in order to achieve it and understand about how it seems to be, right? We have to improve about what's going on in that way, and we have to do what it is and all that stuff. We have to believe about how it's going to be in that way, and we have to know about how it is from our own strengths, our own weaknesses, our own dignity and self-respect. That's the way it kind of concludes. But the way how this is, the way of how our own abilities are, from the right or wrong perspective, I just want to say this to my own way about knowing what to do, and it's the way it seems to be, right? This is the way of how it's going to be what's going on, right? So this is the way it seems to be, and I hope you understand this home tarot reading, but this is the way it kind of concludes. So here we go. So this is a massive reading. It is very massive because the Magician is upright because you're going to have skill. The Two of Pentacles is upright because you're balancing two things at once. But when things are kind of, conjunction of, there's two ways about knowing what to do. You have to believe about what's going on in this whole entire situation, because you have to believe about how it's going on. Because when you're looking at your career, when you're looking at, where you don't have any guidance or whatever it is, you know how you can be who you are, right? And there's a lot of things are going on. But then when you look at this reading, you're thinking, oh my, this is a huge reading. It is, because it's based on this. It's based on how you can believe about what's going on in that way, and you're thinking about how it is. So what's going on through this situation, and I'm going to look at the past situation, the present, and the future situation for May 20th to May 31st of 2025 for you Sagittarius. So let's see what's going on. So let me go from the Magician to the Ten of Pentacles. So the Six of Cups is reversed, followed by the Five of Cups is upright, followed by the Queen of Wands is upright. Yeah, because there's charisma, you're having grief. The Six of Cups reversed, there's no past because you're not stuck on that. Because that's the way how it seems to be. You're trying to figure out, well, this is the way it seems to be. I know what to do, I got this, but then I don't want to inconvenient or the way how it is. So you're trying to figure out about what's going on in that way, whether you like that or not. You have to go with the flow. You have to go with the program. You have to stick to your own ways about considering your own options. Because the way how this is, you have to think about, okay, well, this is the way it goes. I got this, but then it's like how you can understand, right? You have to be instinctive, whatever it seems to be, right? You have to use your own intuition, your own gut feelings, because about how it is, right? If you're having grief, you're thinking, well, why I'm not happy with this? Because things are not going as planned. You have to know exactly how you can do it in order to do that, right? Now, the Two of Pentacles is upright, so I'm going to clarify that. The Cups is upright, for the Devil is upright, for the Knight of Pentacles is upright, because you're not having any trust, right? The Devil is upright because there's obsession, violence, that's the way it goes. You could deal with another Capricorn as an Earth sign. The Eight of Cups is upright because you want to be an entertainer, you want to entertain that's the way it seems to be. But you could be dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you can deal with another Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, you can deal with another Capricorn, you're dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Like, there are things that you must learn first. In order to do that, that's the way it kind of concludes. So it's like you have to know about from how you can backtrack of the situation, whether you like it or not, but then it's like how you can improve yourself wisely to be how you can do it in one way or another. So I'm going to see this, and they're going from the middle all the way to the Queen of Wands. So let's see. Two of Pentacles reversed, follow away the Three of Wands is upright, follow the Knight of Cups is upright. Yeah, because you want romance, you want communication, and the Two Pentacles reversed, you're not balancing two things at once. You know, it's over control, right? Over balancing. You know, that's what it seems to be. What's happening is Knight of Pentacles is here. Page of Pentacles reversed, alright. Follow the Ten of Cups is upright. Yeah, because you want completion. Everything wants to be completed, and it's like, okay, well, this is the way it goes. I need my own priorities, because that's the way it goes, right? Because you have to believe that everything seems to be fine, and this is like not the Wild West. This is not the way it goes. But then it's like how you can do it in one way or another. You have to prove yourself wisely about getting the better of you. That's the way it seems to be. What's between the High Priestess all the way to the Seven of Wands? The Nine of Wands is upright. Follow the Six of Wands is upright. Follow the Four of Swords is upright. Follow the Ten of Swords is upright. Follow the Seven of Cups is upright. Yeah, because it represents where you're having fear, you having celebration, you want to rest, you want healing, you have conclusions, you have illusion, because you're like thinking about something, what to do. You know, that's the way it goes, right? If it's you have to know about what's going on that way. You have to believe that everything seems to be fine. But how you can do it, how you can put yourself into a man's shoes or a woman's shoes, whatever it is, right? You have to do what it takes beyond about that comparison. You know, you have to compare and contrast two things at once. You know, one thing you compare about your own self, and secondly, you can compare it to your own partner or your own need. But then it's like how you can do it in one or another, right? This is the way it seems to be. When you think about it, you have to know what it is, because about how you can do it. You have to compare whatever you decide to do, because that's the way it seems to be. You have to, how you can understand that in one way or another. That's why it seems to be that. And when you have to have what it takes, that's why it seems to be. It's the way of how you can control in your own decency, your own self-respect, your own rhythm, whatever it is. But then you have to understand that. That's the way it seems to be. What's between this Nine of Wands and this Hierophant? Three of Pentacles reversed. Follow the Seven of Pentacles is upright. Follow the Temperance is upright. Yeah, because you want healing. Yeah, the Three of Pentacles reversed, you're not having any excitement. The Seven of Pentacles is upright because you're looking for, you already have your career, but you're looking for more than that. You know, that's the way it goes. And when you think about that, you think about, okay, well, you know, when I'm looking at the Seven Pentacles, it's like, okay, well, I know I got this, how it seems to be. You could be healing, you know, and that's the Temperance. You're healing because things are not going as planned, things are not going your way, but then it's like how you can understand that, right? Because you have your own decency and self-respect, right? That's why it seems to be that. And I'm drinking some iced tea here. This is good. But anyway, this is the way it goes. This is the way of how it kind of unfolds of the situation, because it's the way it seems to be in that way. So let me try to figure out what's in the middle of this situation here. The Tower is upright, yeah, because there's transformation. Everything is going to change, and when it does, you have to know about it, because that's the way it seems to be. So you have to understand of how it's going to be. So I'm going to see what the universe is going to say here for you Sagittarius, because I want to figure out what's happening in this way about what's going on. And it is very interesting about what's how you can improve yourself wisely to get the better of you, you know, because that's the way way it is. So it's like that's the way it has to be. So let's see what the universe is saying. So let me go from the middle to left, middle to right. So the Emperor reverse, there's no structure. Queen of Swords reverse, there's no independence. Seven Cups upright, there's a delusion. King of Pentacles upright, there's security. Page of Wands is upright, there is invention. Ace of Cups upright, there is satisfaction. And the Six of Pentacles here is you're not having any kindness. Yeah, because you're being rude, you're being disrespectful, because things are not going as planned. So it's like when you are expecting about having your own reality, and when you have no kindness, why? You know, because you need to understand that when you have no kindness, it's like you have no self-respect. And when you have no kindness, you're being mean, you're being rude, you're being disrespectful. You know, you want to get what you want, but then how would you improve yourself wisely, right? I could be talking to a Sagittarius woman or a guy situation here, but then you have to understand about how you can master your own decisions, about how you can understand that, right? Because when that gives you that opportunity about what's going on, you have to figure it out, right? That's why it seems to be. It's like why I'm doing this, why I'm not happy with this situation, because you're thinking what to do next. You know, that's why if you're having a delusion, it's like you're having like a deja vu moment. You know, because that's the way it seems to be. But this Six of Pentacles reverse, as in no kindness. You're not being kind, right? Because the way of how this is, it's like you want to be mean and rude or disrespectful, and when you do that, it hurts. It hurts by someone else, or it hurts about what's happening in that situation, whether you like or not. But then it's like, why, right? And when you are participating about doing silent treatment, or not getting what you want, or whatever it is, you're pushing to the brink of elimination, because elimination is like you're eliminating everything off, and when you do that, it's like, why are you feeling like that? So I'm gonna clarify this kindness card. The Ten of Swords card. There's conclusions. There's Three of Swords here. There's no heartbreak. The King of Cups here. There's no support. Ace of Wands here. There's no beginnings. And the Six of Wands card. There's achievement. Yeah, because the way you have this is where you have conclusions, where you have the way you have this is. It's like there are ways that you need to consider your options, and when you do that, it's like how I can understand is in one or another, right? If you have conclusions, fine, right? You're being concluded. You want to have all these things, but when you have achievement, it's like you're achieving something. You're achieving. Oh well, I'm acting to be not kind and not rude or anything else. It's the other way around. It's like, well, yeah, but you have to understand what it takes beyond about that way, right? That's the way it kind of goes. And when you do that, it's like how you can do what it takes and beyond about that way, about knowing what to do and your own satisfaction, guaranteed, because this is like 100% accurate, and that's how it is, Sagittarius. You have to get to a point whether you can conceal what's happening next. That's why it seems to be that. What's in the middle from the right side? The Six of Cups card, there's the past. The Six of Swords here, there's no movement. The Four of Wands here, there's no celebration. The Two of Swords here, you already have the crossroads, because you already know which direction you're going to take. Three of Wands here, there's no communication. Yeah, because you are saying that you don't want to communicate, and you're leaving it about elimination, right? Because if you have no communication, no kindness, it's like, what's the point? What's the point about having this situation, whether you try to do it in one or another? And that's how it is. It's like you're trying to figure out about, oh well, I know what to do, I got this, but then that's the way it seems to be. What's in the middle of the situation here? The Terror is right, yeah, because you're healing, because the way of how this is an opportunity to understand that in one way or another. That's the way it goes. What's happening with this Three of Wands here? The Hierophant is upright, gives you guidance. The Queen of Wands here, there's no charisma. The Five of Pentacles here, there's no insecurity. The Queen of Pentacles over there's stability. Yeah, because that's the way it goes. So you're trying to figure out how you can do it in one or another. It's like you're having healing, you're having achievement, you're having whatever you want. But then when you have no communication, when you have no kindness, it's like you're trying to figure out what's going on around that situation, whether you you deserve about your own priorities, your own self-respect, your own main reasons about what's going on, right? Whenever you chose to do it, you do what it takes beyond about that way. You're basically thinking that, oh, I'm acting all kind, I'm acting all great, but then it's like, no, you're not, right? Because that's how it is. It's like how it is in that way. What's the bottom of this? So the 6-1 reverse, there's no there's no celebration. The Fool reverse, there's no change. 9 of Swords reverse, there's no trauma. King of Wands reverse, there's no, basically I'm going to call it passion. The Judge is upright, you're going to take action. The 6 of Pentacles is upright because you're going to have kindness coming up. King of Cups is upright because you're going to have support. The 4 of Pentacles here is there's no insecurity. The 8 of Pentacles is upright, you want to have perfection, right? What's in the middle? You have the Hangman reverse, there's no restrictions. The King of Pentacles is upright, you want money and everything else. Like, you want prosperity. You want things to be at your own dedication. You know, that's the way it kind of concludes. But when you look at this, you think, okay, everything's fine, right? So it's like you're going to be acting like you're going to be having, you know, your own abilities from the right and wrong perspective. So it's like on the left side you have relationships. The Page of Pentacles, there's no prospects. The 9 of Swords, there's no trauma. The Tower is upright, there's transformation. So let me try to, so there's 2 of Cups is upright. You want to have relationships. Yes, it's based on that. But whenever you are in long-term relationships or short-term relationships, it needs to be corrected, right? It needs to be understandable about what's going on this way. You're thinking, okay, well, this is the way it seems to be, I got this. So I'm not going to clarify the relationships because you could be dealing with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, whether you are, you know, enjoying that or what. But that's how it seems to be. Now, this prospects card, I'm going to clarify that. The Lover's reverse, you're not going to make any decisions. The Ace of Swords, sorry, there's an understanding. Yeah, because you have to understand about what's going on in that situation, and you have to exactly how it is, right? This is not mind control. This is not where you're playing games or whatever it is. You have to know what it takes, because in theory, you have to know what's going on that way, and you're thinking, okay, well, this is the way it seems to be. I know what to do. I got this, because that's the way it goes. And you have to know what it takes, because that's how it seems to be. So you could be dealing with another Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You can deal with another Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You know, that's the way it seems to be. So you understand that. What's this 9 of Swords? The High Priestess is upright, you're going to use your own voice. The Hangman is upright, there's stillness, yeah. Because there's restrictions, right? You're being restricted because that's the way it goes, where you want to talk, but then you can't, or you know, you want to be angry, or, you know, it's like you have to believe about what's going on in that way, whether you're feeling like, oh, you know, I want to do this, I want to act like this, I want to, you know, feel like it, that's the way it goes. But then it's like, why are you having all these conclusions when you have to know which one to pick, you know? That's why it goes. So you have to understand about how you can believe in order to do that. If you're using your inner voice, if you're not happy or whatever, you're not going to get what you want, whatever it is, you're trying to figure out that you don't want to lose long-term relationship or, you know, short-term relationship, whatever it is. But you have to believe about what's going on through your own partner's mind or what you're going through, because about what's going on, right? That's how you have to believe about how it's going to be in that way, of how it's going to be affecting you or whatever it is. That's why it's based on that. What's happening with this Tower situation? The Ace of Pentacles here is there's no growth. The Eight of Pentacles are there's perfection. Okay, what's also with this this Ace of Pentacles? The Strength card reverse, yeah, because you're not being brave. No, because you're being scared. You know, and when you're being scared, it's like, well, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, or I quit, or whatever it is. But then you're feeling scared because you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose about, you know, it's like, why I'm feeling like this, you know. Sagittarius, you need to pay attention about what's going on in that situation. You have to know exactly how it takes, because about how it is. You need to understand about what's going on in that way, whether you like it or not. But it's based on that. It's based on how you can do it in one or another, and you have to think, okay, well, I know what to do, I got this, but then you have to be wisely about knowing what to do in that way. That's how it is. So what's happening with the strength card here? The Knight of Wands here, there's no immaturity. The 10 of Cups here, there's incompletion. But the 3 Pentacles are there's excitement. Yeah, because you're going to, feel like everything's fine, but then it's like, no, it's not. Everything's not fine, And I'll basically clarify this relationship, because I'm going to clarify it. I said I won't, but I did. So the Queen of Cups are there's empathy, and the Judgment is already there's action. Yeah, because like I said, there's empathy. There's two sides of the story here. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense. You have to pay attention about how you can understand to proceed with caution. That's the way it goes, right? You have your own procedures. You have your own wants, your needs, your own varieties about what's going on, right? That's the way it seems to be. And when you do that, you know how it is in one or another, because you have to believe that everything will be fine, and you have to know how you can do it in one way or another, right? That's the way it seems to be. So it's like based on that. It's based on how you can have your own realities about knowing what to do. That's why it seems to be that. So, that's the way it kind of goes. So before I let you all go, pay attention to what's happening in this situation, whether you are based on this whole entire situation. And you know what, Sagittarius, you have to pay attention about how's it going to be. That's why it seems to be. That's the way of how it goes, because this is the way it seems to be. And whether if you're acting to be, nice and be who you are, that's the way it goes, right? And if you're acting like you're not being kind, or then other way you're acting kind, it's like you're acting about that, right? Because you're thinking about how it's going to be, but that's how it is, right? That's what it seems to be. And when you do that, that's the way how it goes. So before I let you go, pay attention to what's happening around this situation, and you have to know what it takes, because that's how it is, right? That's why it seems to be that, and that's how it goes, right? So everything has to be all how it is, and that's the way it is, and that's how it seems to be in that way, right? So that's how it goes, and you have to do exactly what you're told to do, but that's how it seems to be. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye for now, really, and bye.